Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Amanda DeCampos-Swigert, and I'm excited to share a valuable resource for developing pragmatic language skills, the Super Duper Photo Practical Pragmatics Fun Deck. This fun deck is designed to improve pragmatic or social language skills through photo-based prompts. It's aimed at children aged 5 to 12 with language disorders. The deck focuses on teaching skills like understanding social cues, conversational rules, and appropriate responses, which are all critical for real-world interactions. The primary focus of the Photo Practical Pragmatics Fun Deck is Pragmatics, the branch of language concerned with the functional and socially appropriate use of language in various contexts. While morphology, word structure, syntax, sentence structure, and semantics, word meaning, are foundational for language, pragmatics goes beyond these to address how language is used effectively and appropriately in social interactions. It specifically targets requesting, solving problems, being polite, responding appropriately, topic maintenance, and feelings. Examples of pragmatic skills targeted by this deck include 1. Knowing what to say and how to say it depending on the social context. For example, speaking to a peer versus a teacher. 2. Understanding nonverbal cues and interpreting tone, facial expressions, or body language. 3. Following conversational rules such as turn-taking, maintaining a topic, and initiating or ending conversations appropriately. The goal is to enhance the client's pragmatic competence, their ability to navigate social situations using appropriate verbal and nonverbal communication skills. The tasks in this deck are designed to improve the child's understanding and use of language in functional, everyday situations. Examples of tasks might include identifying what someone should say in a specific scenario. For example, what do you say if someone gives you a gift? Explaining why a particular response or action is socially appropriate or inappropriate. For example, why should you say "excuse me" when you accidentally bump into someone? Role-playing scenarios to practice socially acceptable communication strategies. For example, how to join a conversation or ask for help politely. Recognizing and interpreting the feelings or intentions of others based on social cues in the photos. The goal is not just to improve the client's responses in therapy, but to help them generalize these skills to real-life interactions, increasing their social confidence and reducing the likelihood of misunderstandings. This deck targets both receptive and expressive language skills. For receptive skills, children learn to interpret social cues like facial expressions or body language. For expressive skills, they practice formulating appropriate verbal responses, such as saying "thank you" when receiving a gift. Therapy integrates both to create meaningful interactions. Therapy sessions can use digital cards for teletherapy or physical cards for in-person sessions. Optional props can make role-playing engaging, helping children simulate real-life scenarios naturally. These strategies ensure the sessions are interactive and effective. Therapy settings. The age group best suited for the fun deck are elementary-aged children approximately 5 to 12 years old. Therapy delivery is effective for both face-to-face therapy and teletherapy. For teletherapy, you can share photo cards digitally using screen sharing tools. The therapist must ensure that the visuals are clear and engaging. The fun deck is adaptable for different ages and skill levels. You can adjust tasks based on the child's abilities, adding supports like visuals for younger clients. The ultimate goal is to ensure children generalize these skills into real-life interactions, building their confidence and independence. When a child gives an incorrect response, strategies like modeling, prompting, and reinforcements are key. For example, if a child struggles to identify the polite response to receiving a gift, you could model saying "thank you" and explain why it's appropriate. Now let's walk through some examples of how this deck can be used in therapy. Each scenario includes strategies for engaging the client and reinforcing their responses. Let's look at this card. This is a requesting card. You've been stuck on the same math problem for hours. What can you ask?
I can ask my teacher for help because the math problem is too hard.
Very good. I think it's a very good idea to ask your teacher for help when you're at school. But when you're at home, who else do you think you can ask?
I can ask my mom or dad for help.
Very good. That's a very good idea. When you're at home, I think it's good to ask your mom or dad. For the requesting card demonstration, the scenario was, you have been stuck on the same math problem for hours. The therapist prompted, "What can you ask?" The client responded, "I can ask my mom or dad for help," which is correct, but the therapist wanted an expanded answer. So she asked a follow-up question. Who can you ask for help when you are at home? You should encourage responses like "my dad" or "my mom." The strategy for engagement was reinforcement. The clinician praised the client's efforts and explained why their response works. She said, "Very good. You can always ask your teacher when you are at school because she would know how to help you understand the math problem." Let's look at this card. This card is about solving problems. You're not tall enough to ride the ride at the new theme park. What can you do?
If I stand on my tippy toes, I can.
But that's not being honest. If you're standing on your tippy toes, are you really tall enough?
No.
If I wasn't tall enough to ride a ride at a theme park, I would try to find another ride where I am tall enough.
That's a good idea.
In the demonstration for the Solving Problems card, the scenario was, you are not tall enough to ride the new ride at the theme park. The therapist prompted, "What can you do?" The client responded, "I can get on my tippy toes," which is incorrect. The strategies used for engagement were providing feedback if the response was incorrect or incomplete. That's not being honest. Do you think you're really tall enough if you're using your tippy toes? The therapist also utilized modeling. If I wasn't tall enough to get on a ride, I would try to find another ride where I am tall enough. Let's look at this card. This card is about being polite. You get the perfect gift from your grandparents. What can you say?
I don't know.
Well, let's look at this picture. She's getting the perfect gift from her grandparents, and she looks really happy. When we get a gift from someone that makes us really happy, what do we usually say?
We say thank you.
Very good. When we get a gift from somebody, we usually say thank you. For the demonstration for being polite card, the scenario was, you get the perfect gift from your grandparents. The therapist prompted, "What can you say?" The client responded, "I don't know," which is incorrect. The strategies used for engagement were providing feedback because the response was incorrect or incomplete, providing a hint. Look at the picture of the girl opening the perfect gift from her grandparents. She looks happy. When someone gives us something that makes us happy, what do we usually say? The client then responded with the correct response. We say thank you. Alright, let's look at this card. This card is about responding appropriately. For this card, let's act it out. So I'm going to pretend that I'm your friend, and I want to tell you that I just got a perfect score on my math test. Then I want you to tell me what you would say. So, "Hi Johnny, I just got a perfect score on my math test that I just studied so hard for."
Good job.
That's right. When somebody tells us about something good that they do, we can say, good job, or I'm so happy for you. In the demonstration for the Responding Appropriately card, the scenario was, your friend tells you she received a perfect score on her math test. The therapist prompted, let's act this one out. Pretend I'm your friend and I just told you, I just got a perfect score on my math test. What can you say? The client responded, good job, which is correct. The strategies used for engagement were encouraging responses like good job or I'm happy for you. Praise the client's efforts and explain why their response works. That's right. When someone tells us about something good that they did, we can say good job or I'm happy for you. Now let's look at this card. This card is about topic maintenance, so keeping the conversation going. This card asks, your friend asks if you want to see a movie after shopping. What do you say?
Yeah, I do.
But that makes the conversation over. If we wanted to keep the conversation going, I would ask something like, what kind of movie are you in the mood for? What else could we ask?
Did you look at what time the movie starts?
Very good. That's a good response. Asking what time the movie starts is a good way to keep the conversation going. In the demonstration for the topic maintenance card, the scenario was, your friend asks if you want to see a movie after shopping. The therapist prompted, what can you say? The client responded, yeah, I do, which is an incomplete response. The strategies for engagement were providing feedback because the response was incomplete. But then the conversation is over. The therapist then modeled, if someone asked me to see a movie, I would ask what kind of movie they are in the mood for. What else could we ask them? Let's look at this card. This card is about giving information. So I want you to tell me how to make a good peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
I would get all the ingredients for the sandwich. I'd get the bread, the peanut butter and jelly. I would get a knife to spread the peanut butter and jelly with. And then I would get a plate to put the sandwich on and close the sandwich up and enjoy.
Very good. I like how you told me about all the ingredients, like the peanut butter, the jelly, the bread, and all the things you need, like the knife and the plate, and all the steps. Like at the end, you put your peanut butter and jelly sandwich. In the demonstration for the giving information card, the scenario was, tell me how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. The client responded, you get the bread, the peanut butter, the jelly, you put all the ingredients together, which was correct. The strategies for engagement were encouraging responses like you get all the ingredients, peanut butter, jelly, bread, and use a knife to spread the peanut butter and jelly onto the bread. You put the two halves together. The clinician praised the client's efforts and explained why their response worked. Very good job explaining how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I like how you talked about all the ingredients like the peanut butter, the jelly, and the bread, and how you use a knife to spread the peanut butter and jelly. Let's look at this card. This card is about feelings. How do you think this little girl is feeling?
Mad?
When we're mad, we feel angry. She doesn't look mad to me. When we get mad, our faces get all scrunched up and our eyebrows go down. She looks like she's about to cry and she's frowning. How do we feel when we're about to cry?
Sad?
That's right. When we're frowning or about to cry, we feel sad. In the demonstration for the feelings card, the scenario was, look at this little girl on the card. The therapist prompted, how do you think she is feeling? The client responded, mad, which is incorrect. The strategies used for engagement were providing feedback because the response was incorrect, and the use of visuals. Being mad means we feel angry. She doesn't look mad to me. She looks like she is about to cry. How do we feel when we're about to cry? In summary, the Photo Practical Pragmatics Fun Deck is an engaging, versatile tool for teaching pragmatic language skills. By emphasizing real-life application, it helps children build meaningful social communication abilities. I encourage you to explore this tool and incorporate it into your sessions. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation on the Photo Practical Pragmatics Fun Deck. I hope you will use this in your future therapies.